To order. I'd like to welcome everybody this evening. Please join me in the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I don't think we have any special recognitions and no public participation. So, next thing is the approval of the agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda with one correction? The letter H at the very bottom, superintendent's recommendation, should be marked letter K. So, can I have a motion to approve the agenda with that correction?
So moved.
Okay, been moved and properly second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, good. Have a motion to approve the minutes. Okay, been moved and properly second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, superintendent's report, Dr. Lockhart.
Yes, Madam Chair. Operations report, first financial, a few items of note. Newton County School System SPLOST 3 distribution is $888,998, which is a decrease of $36,745 from our July collection. This collection was accrued into last fiscal year since it was for June taxes. Total SPLOST 3 received for the first 54 months is approximately $47,229,514, averaging $874,621 per month. In comparison, SPLOST 2 averaged $830,490 per month for the 60 months of those collections. The June TAVT collection was $84,487. Other items of note, maintenance and operations. Number one, maintenance received 914 work requests in July, with 783 having been completed. There are 131 remaining work orders in progress. One item for school nutrition to bring forth. The final DOE financial reports received in July provided information on meals served and percent participation for the 14 school year. The program served over 1.2 million breakfast meals, 2.6 million lunches, and 134,000 after-school snacks. So Ms. Loomis and her team, they've been rather busy. Average monthly breakfast participation was 38%. Average lunch participation was 79.8% for the school year. Procurement, we are happy to say that Newton County School System has been awarded the prestigious 19th Annual Achievement of Excellence in Procurement Award, or AEP, for 2014 from the National Purchasing Institute. Newton County System was one of only 4 school systems in Georgia and one of only 22 school systems nationwide to receive the award for 2014. This is the 3rd consecutive year the procurement department has received the AEP award. Mr. Barr is here, and if you would, could you please join me in a round of applause? And that concludes the operations report, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you. Any questions on the operations report? Okay, you can go ahead and go to curriculum instruction technology.
Yes, ma'am. CIT Tech report. There are 2 items I just want to bring to your attention briefly. Which item number 4, Dr. Adolph Brown spoke to all Newton County School System employees at the opening session. His presentation motivated everyone to make this the best school year ever. Again, a very powerful professional learning opportunity for the entire school system. Dr. Brown will be back on August 23rd at Newton High School for our Education Summit, and we're inviting the community and families to come out and hear this dynamic speaker. Another item I'd like to bring to your attention is item number 14. Second page, Mr. Peck and Ms. Buff met with all K through 12 teachers to review the new Georgia Milestones Assessment Program, and that's very important in that we are moving away from this. We have moved away from the CRCT end of course test. A lot of the assessments that we've known previously for the Georgia Milestones is a much more rigorous exam, and the Newton County School System is trying to be very proactive in making sure that our teachers and our students and families are prepared for their upcoming assessments. And that concludes the information I would need to share for the CIT report.
Okay, thank you. Any questions?
Dr. Lockhart, are there content descriptions on the DOE site, or where can parents get study guides for the EOCs like they did the EOC kids in the past? Are they there?
We are in the process of trying to get that information. This is one of those situations where we're working on the plane while it's flying. And so as soon as we get more information and resources, we'll be happy to pass them out.
Okay, you can go ahead to enrollment.
Enrollment count. This is dated August 7th, and of last year, we had 19,333 students. This year, we have 19,326 as of August 7th. That's a decline of 7 students, but we're still enrolling. I'll give you an updated enrollment report next week on the 19th.
Okay. Any questions? Okay, Dr. Lockhart, you also have old business.
Yes, ma'am. Old business, that's policy JK. It's still on the table for 1 month, and we will ask for the board to take action on that next week on August 19th.
Okay. You can go ahead with new business, item A.
Item A, and this is a renewal of school system beverage agreement, and the recommendation is that the superintendent recommends the approval of an annual renewable beverage agreement with Coca-Cola Refreshments of Decatur, Georgia. The effective date will be August 21st, 2014. And additional documentation is on file and available for review.
Okay, do we have any questions about item A? Okay, thank you, Dr. Lockhart.
Yes, ma'am.
Mrs. Buff, item B.
Good evening.
Good
The
evening.
superintendent recommends the purchase of consulting services from Insight Education Group. The total cost, which includes strategic consulting, online coaching, and relevant feedback for specific teachers, is $128,775 to be paid from Title IIA funds. This is a renewal and expansion of current services. So some background, as you all know, the district and the state struggled with coordinate algebra scores in the 2013-14 year as well as the prior year. Teachers that we had that participated in this program last year felt that it had a big impact on their teaching and their ability to give students timely feedback. The expansion of the program will include up to 23 coordinate algebra and geometry teachers. This will include 6 middle school teachers who will be teaching coordinate algebra for high school credit this year. The majority of Insight support will be provided through ongoing virtual coaching. Any questions?
I don't have a comment. Maybe I should be directing this to the superintendent, but how does this go in line with, last year we approved a $100,000 consulting fee to investigate why we're underperforming in our math performance. Is any information relative to that consultant study? Is it available? Can it be shared with the board or whatever?
We did a presentation, I think at the end of last school year about the group, and we had the 5 teachers come and explain about the impact that the coaching had on them as coordinate algebra teachers. And then what you see, the outcome is that the state's scores improved by 3 points. Newton County scores increased by more than 10 points, in some cases 2 and 3 times and 4 times the rate of what's significant. And we believe that that can be attributed to the direct coaching and support provided by the video footage and the commentary, and the support from someone who is a math certified individual who is a coach. We don't have that staff on our current staff to be able to provide that kind of support, and we believe we're moving in the right direction with that continued support. We even had, I believe, Eastside High School prior to retest. We don't even have retest results yet. Eastside outperformed the state's coordinate algebra scores this year, and they were lagging some 20 points behind last school year, and they attribute it to the direct coaching and feedback. So, Mr. Johnson, to answer your question, the results are in the growth in student performance on these assessments. That's the measurement that we're using to determine the effectiveness. If we hadn't seen significant growth, we wouldn't be here asking to use our Title IIA monies to expand and move into the middle schools where they will be teaching coordinate algebra for the very first time. So we feel strongly they need that kind of support and leveraging the technology that we have and that we've put in all of our classrooms.
Thanks for that added info.
Absolutely.
Okay, any other questions?
Thank you.
Mr. Barr, item C.
First, I just want to say we have an incredible procurement team, and they do great work, and all the credit for the AEP award really goes to them and their efforts. I'm greatly appreciative of what they do. In item C, the superintendent recommends items identified be declared surplus and disposed of per board policy DO. The items for your consideration are from Fairview, Flint Hill, Herd Mixon, and Mansfield Elementary Schools, Clements, Indian Creek Veterans Middle Schools, and Eastside High School. And that concludes item C.
Okay. We have any questions regarding item C? Okay, thank you. Dr. Shattuck?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Ms. Ferry, Madam Chairwoman, ladies and gentlemen of the board. I have 6 items, and I'll go through them in order and stop after each one asks for questions. Item D, the superintendent recommends approval of an agreement for the internet content filter software needed for the school system with Trebon Company of Seattle, Washington. Lightspeed, the company that makes this software, provides an educational-focused content filtering solution that provides scalable, customizable protection for all devices that access the internet. And also, it provides that same protection for our students. The product provides safe internet access without overblocking necessary for 21st century learning environments. The software was selected by the technology department following a thorough evaluation process conducted to identify a cost-effective solution. The Lightspeed system content filter software was purchased. The software now utilizes a competitively bid contract managed by PEPPM, a national technology bidding and purchasing program, to purchase the software. Lightspeed, through its reseller Trebon, is currently offering a 3-year agreement that secures a price for the estimated period. This will save the school system $11,000 in year 1 and additional funds on year 2 and year 3. So the cost will be $33,950 over the life of the agreement. That's how much we'll save over the life of the agreement. The total cost for the purchase is $146,650, paid in 3 annual installments of $46,883. The cost will be paid for out of general funds.
Okay, any questions regarding item D? Okay, you can go ahead to your next item.
Item D is for the superintendent recommends the maintenance agreement for Arrowhive wireless access points be awarded to Infinity Network Solutions of Macon, Georgia. Be renewed for an additional term. The effective date will be August 21st and the of 2014, and the expiration date will be August 20th, 2017. This is a 3-year maintenance agreement. The contract was originally awarded in August 2012 through a competitive solicitation process as part of the school system's yearly E-rate submissions. It includes all necessary hardware, software, as well as maintenance and support. The 3-year maintenance agreement being renewed includes a software subscription, customer access, and support for all Arrowhead wireless points within the school system. The total cost is $32,627. This cost will be paid for out of the general funds.
Okay, we have any questions for item E? Okay, you can go ahead with F.
Item F, the superintendent recommends the library and asset management software agreement awarded to Follett School System Solution of McHenry, Illinois, be renewed for an additional term. The effective date will be August 21st, 2014, with an expiration date of August 20th, 2015. Follett is the largest provider of library, asset, and textbook automated management solutions to K-12 schools. Approximately 2/3 of all public schools in the country use one or more of Follett's automated solutions. Follett is a sole source provider of destiny management software and has been utilizing the school system for approximately 8 years. The renewal includes a software subscription as well as all necessary maintenance and support. The total cost is $30,717. This cost will be paid for out of general funds.
Okay, any questions for item F? Okay, you can go ahead and go to G.
Item G, the superintendent recommends acceptance of a solicitation pricing for technology infrastructure and peripherals from Infinity Network Solutions of Macon, Georgia. Let me add that this particular item refers to a state grant that was just started this year, and they're offering money to every school district in Georgia in order to upgrade their infrastructure. In essence, that's what this is about. Multiple state agencies have joined to develop and fund the state of Georgia's Connections for Classroom grant program. This initiative, managed by the Governor's Office for Student Achievement, provides $39 million to expand classroom access to high-speed broadband service necessary for digital and blended learning. The program's goal is to ensure that schools have sufficient network infrastructure to effectively utilize the increased bandwidth at the classroom level. All Georgia school systems are required to submit grant application packages, which will be evaluated both on their technological significance and their educational impact. The applications must be submitted by August 29th. An award announced and tentatively announced for late October. Invitation for bid was submitted, was put out there, and the 4 bids were received, and the vendors are in the solicitation or in the notice. We had 4 vendors submit bids. After review, it is determined to be in the best interest of the school system to award the bid to the lower overall responsive and responsible bidder, Infinity Network Solutions. The solicitation pricing includes all components, hardware, and associated peripherals, including cabling, as well as installation and cleanup. Equipment will be installed in select facilities throughout the school system. The estimated contract value, assuming 100% funding, is $3.7 million. The final scope of work will be modified based on the amount of funding received, brought before the board for approval, and will begin in the spring of 2015. What I'd like to add is that we're submitting this bid for $3.7 million. In all likelihood, we will not receive $3.7 million because there's only $39 million for the entire state. But we will receive some percentage of that. When we find out what it is and we determine how that money should be spent, we'll come back to the board to get their final approval on this.
Okay. Can I have a motion? I do need a motion for,
Excuse me, Madam, I have a question.
we gotta make a motion and move it forward to open it up for discussion on this item.
Okay.
Okay. So I need a motion to move the item forward for discussion.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, moved and properly second. Go ahead, Mr. Johnson.
I was a little bit confused on you saying it's 3.7 for the entire project,
Yes,
and we're only going to get a portion of that.
that's my assumption, yes, sir.
So how we're going to handle the remainder?
It's a $39 million grant the state is giving to all the school systems in Georgia, and there's 180 school systems. But it's only, the maximum amount is $39 million for the state.
Right.
We're going to be submitting to the state requests for $3.7 million. Because what we did is we looked at every single school to see what they needed in order to bring them up to the standard. We don't want to ask for less than the total amount because we don't know how much the state's going to give. If we ask for 1 million and that we could have gotten 1.2, then we lost $200,000. So we're asking for the maximum, but we have to understand that the maximum very likely will not be received.
Can I answer your question?
Yes.
I think what you're asking, and if I'm wrong, I apologize, but if in fact we needed $3.7 million to cover all schools, how will we, when we get less than that, prioritize which schools get what, given the fact that we may not get $3.7 million? Is that what?
Correct.
Okay. So we would prioritize by age of the.
We will prioritize by age and the greatest need. Alcovey, for example, is in a very high need category, but so are some of the other elementary schools. So we'll go to the schools that have the highest need, and we'll just see how we can maximize those dollars in those schools with the highest need. And when we say highest need, is who has the oldest equipment, and it needs to be upgraded first.
Does this include fiber cable between the schools, or do we have sufficient?
We have, every school is connected with a fiber link.
Right.
Some schools have a 10 gigabit link and some have a 1 gigabit link. One of the things we'd like to do is get all of them up to 10 gigabit. The difference between them is not the fiber. The difference between them is the equipment at the school level.
Understood.
So we need to upgrade the equipment, and that's what this grant is for, is upgrading equipment, is to upgrade the equipment at those schools so they can be accessing the board office or the network operations center at 10 gigabits.
Understood. Thank you.
Okay, any other discussion before I call for the question? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, you can move to the next item.
Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Mm-hmm.
Item H is similar to this, but different. The superintendent recommends the E-rate subsidized technology infrastructure needed for the school system be purchased from Infinity Network Solutions of Macon, Georgia. Annually, the school system issues solicitations for telecommunications, internet access, and internal connections as part of the E-rate process. After evaluation, the winning vendor proposals are brought before the board for approval, as was done in May of this year. The pricing is then submitted as part of the school system's proposal process to the Universal Services Administrative Company, the federally authorized company that manages the E-rate program. The Universal Services Administrative Company approves funding on a yearly basis, and once approved, the money can be held and used several years after the approval. As the school system prepares to expend funds for specific projects, those are brought back before the board for final approval. 4 projects that span the 2011-2012 funding year and the 2012-2013 funding year are currently in the queue. The projects and their costs are summarized in the chart below. And if I can point out the chart, in that chart, the project cost for all the 4 projects is $1.02 million. E-rate will be funding $840,000 of that, and the school system's responsibility be $179,000. So we are saving $840,000, and this is to upgrade the networking equipment at the schools. Therefore, the total cost of all projects will be slightly over $1 million, of which $840,000 will be reimbursed by E-rate, leaving a net cost of the school system of $179,000. The cost will be paid for out of the capital projects fund.
Okay. I do need a motion for this item in order to move it forward for discussion.
So moved.
Okay, moved and properly second. Do we have any discussion on the item? Okay, no discussion. I'll call for the question. All in favor? Okay, any opposed? Okay, and item I, Dr. Shattuck.
Aye. Finally, I'm at the end. I'm trying to get them all out at one time. The superintendent recommends the network monitor needed for the school system be purchased from CDWG of Vernon Hills, Illinois. The network monitor being purchased is the OptiView XG Network Analysis Appliance. It is developed by the Fluke Networks, a leader in networking performance monitoring and diagnostic solutions. The OptiView XG is a comprehensive solution that helps IT engineers increase efficiency by enabling them to solve wired and wireless network and application problems faster and to deploy new applications and services easier. The tool enables instant inventory documentation, pre-deployment testing, reactive troubleshooting, and proactive analysis. The solution includes all hardware and software as well as support. The school system will utilize a competitively bid contract managed by the National Intergovernmental Purchasing Alliance, a national purchasing cooperative, to purchase the equipment. The total cost is $31,675. This cost will be paid for with the general funds.
Okay, do we have any questions regarding item I?
Yes. Any reason why this would fall under the E-rate?
This does not qualify for E-rate funding. It's against their rules.
Okay,
Unfortunately.
it is. But you're testing the equipment that they're paying to put in?
Right.
Okay, any other questions? All right, thank you, Dr. Shattuck.
Thank you so much.
Item J. You want me to do it?
We could go. The item J is relative to review and discussion for the upcoming training sessions provided by Griffin Risa for local board training for the 14-15 school year. And I recommend that the approval of the completed proposed local board training plan. And I do know that we have some discussion about the date in the spring, Madam Chair. Which date will you, the 25th?
Yeah, the 25th of February, the rules of boardmanship.
Okay, for whole board training. And so, that would be the recommendation.
Yes.
Yep.
And then if we find a conflict with this, we can change it though.
Yes, we can
Okay.
amend the plan. We'll submit, the plan must be submitted by September 1st, and so we'll submit the plan after you vote next week. And then if there are any necessary changes, we just need to amend the plan.
Perfect.
We can't do that tonight. We don't-
It's not on here for a vote
For a vote, we have to wait till next week.
next week.
When I amended the agenda, I didn't add that to be voted on tonight.
Can you do it now?
Well, we already approved the agenda, so I can't.
Okay, got you.
Okay, item K. I was about to say H. Yeah, I agree. Item K. I
Item
had to
K,
take a
Madam
look.
Chair. Superintendent requests that the board approve the personnel recommendations made during executive session.
Okay,
So moved. Second.
I even have to ask for a motion. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, other matters of interest. Thank you, Dr. Lockhart.
Madam Chair, just that, just a reminder about the August 23rd Education Summit that parents and community members who wish to attend need to go online and register so that you can get a ticket to attend. The seating is limited, given that the event will take place at Newton High School. We look forward to hearing from Dr. Brown again. And the other item is the State Department released its list of alert schools, and just for purposes of information, alert schools are all Title I or non-Title I schools in the state, based upon the lowest achievement of the all students group in terms of proficiency on our, for us, it would be EOCTs and CRCTs, and that that alert schools demonstrate a lack of progress on those assessments over 3 years in all students, in the all students group. And they can't be identified as priority or focus schools. And the good news is that we continue to not have any alert schools, because our schools continue to demonstrate growth and improved student achievement over the last several years, and they continue that trend. We are not where we wish to be in every area, but we are definitely headed in the right direction. So for just as a point of interest, that we have no alert schools. We are waiting to hear about the other areas, particularly reward schools. Perhaps we'll find ourselves in a situation where our schools will be recognized for their improvements over the last several years.
Okay, perfect. Any other matters of interest? Oh, I do have a question, actually, on the ticket for Dr. Brown for the event on that Saturday. When you do the ticket, it doesn't have a name on there, but you have to put your name in the system. Will you guys have a list of the names?
Yes,
Okay.
we'll have a list of the names, and when we collect the tickets, we'll be looking at names
Okay.
to make sure
perfect.
everybody
That
has the ticket.
That was my
One other
question.
follow-up. How will we know we don't have an overage? Would you know that?
We know because the system that we're using collects the numbers of tickets we need, and so we will stop issuing tickets once we reach that number. Parking, however, will be tricky no matter which way you slice it. Mr. Barr and his team we have a Plan A, Plan B, Plan C, Plan D, and all kinds of plans in an effort to, based upon how many tickets are every time I say tickets, I want to say purchased, but they're not purchased. Every ticket that we see in our system, we have a plan addressing how many parking places we have to accommodate. And so we may have to have a shuttle location if the number gets larger than what we have in Plan A. And so we would then begin to communicate to people who are attending. They would park in a specific location, and then we would pick them up and bring them to the location. We are not there yet. We're not out of Plan A yet. Plan A is everybody drives themselves to the location. Carpooling would be a good idea, but in the event that we get to a number that prohibits or inhibits parking or makes a trouble spot on the Coral Road, we will be Plan A, B, C, or D.
And E for Walton.
That's right.
What's your cutoff number?
About 2,000. Yeah.
Because it may not be a bad idea to, while you're soliciting this information, to see if people could indicate how many people will be riding with them. Because oftentimes it's not the number of people, but it's the number of cars.
Right.
You may have more cars than you have
Right.
spaces.
Right. That is definitely a concern. We're hoping that we have enough information early enough to make those adjustments and enough time. We'll have enough time to put the plan of action out there. So the people who are registering we'll do a school messenger and to make sure people are aware of the parking arrangements. The other thing is that immediately following Dr. Brown's session, we'll have breakout sessions as well that we want people to attend because community will be represented. But we also will have some really important sessions about the new assessments that our students will be facing in the spring. And so we'll have lots of information that parents may want to know, especially to help kids prepare for the rigor that we expect to see in these new assessments, among other types of sessions. So it seems to be gearing up to be a great event, and it's certainly a great way to bring our community together with one message, so that we're all speaking the same language. And that's what we've seen in the system just from the one interaction we've had as a school system. So having the community on board only makes us that much stronger.
Okay. Any other matters of interest? I do want to commend everybody in the school system for a great first week and some days. And I've heard nothing but good news about the executive leadership team. So that is important to notate. So I do appreciate all of y'all hard work, definitely. And it goes to show, and the message is being heard, and people are talking. So it's great to see that.
We've got a great team.
Okay. Any other matters of interest? None said. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, moving properly second. All in favor? Okay, meeting adjourned.